Hey tribe, in this video I'm going to be teaching you the right order of makeup application. So to get a flawless application you need a very good base, and I already have my skin prep done. Scroll down onto my videos. I have a very detailed tutorial on how to prep your skin for a flawless makeup application. So we're going to get right into the face bit. First off, you're going to need a foundation. So for foundation, get a foundation shade that matches your skin tone exactly. You don't want to be wearing a mask. You don't want to go outside and then your face looks different from your neck, especially if you're wearing something that exposes your shoulder. With a petal brush, I'm going to fairly distribute it onto my face. So to blend this out, we're going to be using a very soft and damp beauty blender. So when they say a beauty blender is damp, this is when you soak the beauty blender and then you squeeze out the excess water, and then you get a very soft and damp beauty blender. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't advise you apply all the foundation onto your face. I would say section your face into two parts. Just apply on a portion of your face, you apply on a portion of your face, and then you blend. So let's blend. Always make sure you are blending to your neck. Okay, always make sure you're blending to your neck, so you know it's in sync. And then for blending, you just go in with a pattern motion. Nothing nothing too strong, just a gentle blend. Okay, the fact that you see a makeup artist dabbing doesn't mean they're dabbing with strength. Just something soft. Okay, nothing too strong. So you see how very soft and good that blend is. After you're done blending your foundation, you would need a concealer shade that is one or two shades lighter than your foundation shade to give you a highlight. So in this case, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee to highlight. If you don't have LA Girl is the most common concealer to get out here. But if you don't have, you can use any other concealer that is one to two shades lighter than your skin tone. The chin area, the cupids, the bridge of the nose, forehead, and then the under eyes. So this is being done to lift the eyes and also to structure your eyeshadow. Again, if you're a beginner, make sure you blend as you go. Do not pile up everything like this because the concealer tends out to dry. It turns out to dry very quickly. So we would like to apply and blend as you go. But if you have the hang of blending, apply all like this. So I'm going to leave the under eye to set a little bit so I get the coverage, not to dry. So just get tacky so I get the coverage I need from the concealer. So I'm going to go in to blend the rest of my face, leaving the under eye. So after we're done blending everywhere else, we are going to blend the under eyes. To blend the under eyes, we're going to look up and then blend to avoid creasing. Creasing is the lines that form after your makeup when you set it with a powder. So to avoid that, it starts with the base. So always look up and then blend. So when you're setting, you also look up and then you set. Okay, so we're going to look up and then blend our under eye. But first off, we're going to blend the outer side. So after we're done blending our concealer, we are going to go in to do cream blush. So for cream blush, I'm going to go in with this lipstick palette. I'm going to use this very bright shade of pink to do my blush of my cheeks. Yeah, yeah. And then a little bit on the tip of my nose. So to blend, we are going to be using the square side of the sponge to blend. We are going to blend this upwards. Okay, we are lifting the face. We are not dropping the face. So we're done with the blush. And to further highlight the under eyes, this is not a compulsory step for a beginner. If you're a beginner, this is where you set your under eyes. But if you know something small about makeup, then let me add something to that, okay? We are going to further highlight just the under eyes to give us a little bit of brightness. And to do that, I'm going in with a concealer palette. One advice I would give a beginner is not to get a concealer palette because they do not blend well. It takes time for you to get the hang of blending with a concealer palette. But if you know something, again, feel free to get it. Okay, so we're going to go in with this shade. It goes directly under the eye. Yeah, just that much. Blend immediately. You see the brightness under the eye? Yeah, I love that. I love me a very good bright under eye. So we are going to set our makeup, our cream product in place. So to set, we have powder palettes and then we have loose powder. Both, this is for setting and baking. This is also for setting the face. Okay, this is more compact and it has a lot of shades in here. So if you're a beginner, I would advise you get this. Okay, and this also comes in different colors, but this is more loose, this is pressed, and this is more loose, so hence the name pressed powder and then a loose powder. To set our under eyes, we are going to use the pressed powder and then further go on to bake with our loose powder. If you pick the powder, make sure you're dusting it at the back of your hands and then go in to set your face. When you're setting, you look up to set the under eye. So we're done setting. You see how mattified the highlighted areas look. We are going to go in with a powder brush to set the rest of the face. To go in with to do our powder contour. Contour is just a darker shade of 1 to 2 shades of a darker powder color. Okay, so you get a powder. I'm going to go in with this. Okay, yeah, as my contour. This is the darkest shade in this palette. Cheekbone. When you are doing your contour, do not bring it down. Okay, like I said, we are lifting the face, so everything goes up, not down. Contour our nose, but because we're going in to bake the face with our loose powder. Further highlight the under eyes and then also catch eyeshadow fallouts. So yeah, yeah, we're just baking the under eyes. So we're going to do our reverse contour, but we're not going to be using the loose powder. We're going to use a much more darker powder from the powder palette. Yeah. So this technique is called the reverse contour technique, just to sharpen the edges of your contour. I'm going to emphasize our blush with a powder blush. I'm going in with this 2 shades of pink. So this technique of dusting a little bit of blush on your forehead gives you the sun-kissed look and emphasizes your contour more. You see how now when you look at me, you know there's a contour on my face. Yeah, it keeps your face in sync, if you get it. Yeah, so for the eyeshadow, we are going to prep our eyelids, blend it out. For my eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using Benign Clown Whites to, you know, highlights for eyeshadow. So yeah, I take a little bit from the pot, go directly onto my eyelids. Yeah, for eyeshadow, we're going to be using the Some African Creamy palette. To start, we're going to be using this shade called Foamy as our first transition shade. You dust it off and then from the outer corner to the inner corner. To go in with a lighter shade of brown called Inkem. Yeah, just to gently soften the edges of our first transition shade. You see how soft the edges look now? It doesn't look as harsh as we started applying. Yeah. Our edges are blended and our first transition looks uh diffused. So we are going to emphasize that more. Just you see that blend? That's exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to go in with the brush I used for the eyeshadow base to further blend my eyeshadow base. This very fluffy brush to apply the lid color. I'm going with the shade Cheesy. Done with the eyeshadow, we're going to do our eyeliner. So to line the eye, I'm going to be using this carrot gel liner with a small liner brush. And we're going to do our mascara. Guys, we are done with the eyes. Let's do the rest of the face. So for the face, we are going to dust off the excess powder. So yeah, after we are done with the face, we are going to set the face. So because of my eyeshadow, I wouldn't like to spray directly onto my face. I'm going to spray it on my beauty blender, and then with a very light hand, I'm going to dab it onto my skin. This technique gives you the most skin-like look of your makeup. If you have tried it, how did you like it? And if you haven't tried it before, try it and tell me, especially for the under eye. And I'm going to fan the face down a little bit. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Glow Kits, and this is what it looks like. Yeah. If you're like me, we go all out. That's why we call it a full face beat. That gel liner, the brown one, to do that. Yeah. So for our lip, we're going to be doing a pink shade. I kind of want to match my eyeshadow today. Yeah, I match gloss. I love me a very good glossy lip. So we're done with this chaotic tutorial. I just hope you enjoyed it and you loved hearing my voice. I will see you in my next video. Bye.